Good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock on Thursday, and we got a masterclass for you. It's going to go like this. Spring is sprung, and my grass has not yet riz. I think that's from Shakespeare. No, it's from all of us. It's been a long winter. It was cold. Guys, it was cold, yeah. And now spring is here. We're having beautiful days, and it's like, come on, baby. Come on. Some of you even play music to your lawn. I know some of you say some really bad things to it, which cannot be repeated on a very, very good show like this. But yeah, I know, boy. And you spend money, and there's heartache, and there's all those things that go with it. But today, guys, we're breaking it down really simple. It's going to be the why. It's going to be the how. It's going to be the problem solving. And I got a few little hints and tips to help you along the way. So never fear. We are here. And remember that we're here to answer all your questions. If we don't get through them today, we will answer you a little bit later. But most importantly, I got something very, 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 very exciting to share with you. And guys, that's before I even say hello, because yes, I'm excited to see you here, but this is super, super exciting. So, you know, we had that little virus going around the world, you know, and it really messed up a lot of our lives, lives and lives. And guys, I'm super excited, and I really need to, number one, before I even tell you what it is, thank the guys at Builders for putting this back in place. And I'm super, super, super thrilled. Guys, this weekend, we start off the first of our live road shows. You remember them. We'd pop along to your local Builders, and we'd give you a talk. You'd be spoiled with gifts, and there'd be loads of questions and answers. And we get to share the spirit of spring and beautiful gardening with you. And we have our first one, and I got something in my eye, and it's not my eyeball, it's more than that. Guys, and we've got our first one this weekend in Pretoria. In fact, a slide is going to come. There it is. There's our masterclass. Our first one is this weekend in Pretoria. Folks, it's at 11 o'clock, okay? 11 o'clock. Oh, I'm talking rubbish. It's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock. It's at 10 o'clock, and guys, it's 2 hours. So there's a talk session, there's a question and answer session, there's lots. Okay, so 10 o'clock. Don't worry, I was in another time zone. So for 2 hours, guys, I would just get there early to get your seat, but you don't have to pay. It's free, okay? It's a free talk. So get there, bring your auntie, bring your granny, bring your mother-in-law. There will be a joke for her. So I really look forward to seeing you all, and especially to the Builders Warehouse in Pretoria. I haven't been to this one. I believe it is amazing. And Tanya Simon, the head of that branch, I'm looking forward to seeing you. Right, guys, so I hope you've got a list. There are 5 of them that we're doing. And yes, the energy is there. Okay, so let's see who's online and say good morning. Sybil, good morning from Durbanville. Vanishri Reddy, good morning from Durban. No wind. That's super hot today, guys. Yo. Lindy, good morning. She's got a weed patch here in Cape Town. Don't worry, Lindy, we're going to sort that out. Quick sticks. Avon, good morning from East London. Alpesh, is that how I say it? Alpesh, help me if I'm right, from Zimbabwe. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, Vanessa from Pietermaritzburg. Bitty is here from Johannesburg. Yeah, it's warm there. It's warm. Ruth, good morning from a beautiful Cape Town. Michelle. Catherine, good morning. Tian, good morning, good morning. Patricia from Kempton Park. Debbie is here, good morning. Michelle Duplessis, guys, it's good to you. Nombosa, good morning from Durban. Kirsten Evans is here from Constantiaberg. Joy is here from Kraaifontein. Oh, yeah, Joy, she's made a date. Fantastic. Excellent. I'll see you at the Builders Roadshow. All right. Tracy, good morning from Hillcrest. Guys, it's lovely to see you all here. And please get those calendars out. Mark, busy all day on that Saturday. Very, very busy. Okay. Right. So let's get on to lawns. Ooh. I have personal struggles with lawns. I should go to therapy for it, but I don't. But I'm really, there's only one word to use, and that is, oh, good morning, Bee. Morning. So every morning a bee comes to say hello to me. In the morning. And that's my mom coming to say hello. So morning, Mom. Personal struggles with lawns. Guys, I have an ongoing battle, and primarily because we built the house in the wrong direction. We built the house for the view, not the sun. So half of the winter, most of the winter, half of the lawn is in shade. It is full shade. That lawn does not even see a little sprinkling of sunlight. So it really battles. It stays damp, it stays wet. So coming into spring, I really have to nurture it. And I'm pleased to say that right now, it's not looking too shabby at all. You know, my twitch has stopped, which is always a good sign. But we exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you today is what we have done for our lawn. It's quite simple. It's not rocket science. There are many different things, and if you start Googling lawns, you're going to find 100 different recipes. I'm going to ask you to trust me and stick with mine, because we have some proof that it works. The first thing I do want to share with you is that we always need to be reminded that lawns are not natural. They are man-made. Nowhere in the world do you go where there is this beautiful manicured lawn and there it is. Fantastic. It is man-made. Because it is man-made for our own pleasures and desires, for the dogs, for the children to play a bit of cricket on, for a bit of frisbee, simply to cool the surrounds, to cool our environment. An area of lawn just does that. It softens it. It softens the glare on our eyes. Not only that, it frames and it sets the scene for our garden. And you know what it's like. Your lawn can be looking a bit tatty, okay? Tatty. Not even up to spec. And it's long. Guys, the most satisfying thing would be to put a lawnmower over it, mow it, and immediately your garden beds look like they've been landscaped. Isn't it weird? It's just weird. And for me, it's a childhood thing. Smelling freshly cut lawn clippings is like it just transports me back. It's earthy, it's real. It is a source of incredible food, which we're going to get to a little bit later. But always remember that because they are man-made, we need to participate in order to keep them looking good. Simple. Okay. But let's participate. And then we can turn around and say, everything I tried didn't work. Okay. Never. No. It's not going to be like that. All right. So we're going to go through some of the evil Knievels first, just so we can get them out the way, because I know you're going to be asking. So let's get them out of the way. And there are 3 things I'm going to talk about: weeds, molds, and insects. I told you I'd never talk about molds. But guys, I've been trialing something in my garden because I had an entire family, the whole family of molds on my front lawn. True story. I'd wake up in the morning. I'd even go out there with the torch at night to see if I could see them. But alas, I couldn't. So we've been trialing some things and man, hit it, nailed it. Okay, so let's talk about weeds first. Coming out of the winter months, guys, especially if your lawn has been under stress, slower growing lawns like your, especially in the colder climates, they slow down, they go dormant. Your kikuyas, your cynodons, they stop. We don't even mow them. That's right. But in between that time, all of a sudden you blinked and there were weeds. And you're like, Oaks, where'd you come from? No? Where'd you arrive from? because the weeds carry on growing. They are not as susceptible to the cooler temperatures that actually stop the lawn growing. The weeds continue to grow. And all of a sudden in spring, we're like, ha, ha, ha. Okay, I do need to give you one word of caution though. One word of caution. If you are going to treat for weeds, I strongly recommend that you take some relaxing chill pills before. Because if your lawn has got lots of weeds in it, by the time you've got rid of the weeds, you will soon realize you've only got 2 tufts of lawn left. And it happens. It's happened to me. So I want you to brace yourself. So you make a decision. You're either going to live with the weeds, and it's okay. It's okay. It's green. Okay. I don't advocate that. You know, I'm like not one for weeds, but it is okay. So like, don't get your knickers in a knot over this. If you don't want to treat them, it's also fine. Okay, but if you do want to treat them, I've got a few ways that you can treat them. Now, number one is the following. So I want you to come across here, and we're going to talk about what weeds we have. Guys, there are lots. There are lots and lots. There are these guys. There are these. There's this. Okay. Oh, there's this pennywort, actually a herb. Can you believe it? Okay. But whatever they are, anything that falls into this category, we can deal with very successfully. Very, very successfully. There are a couple of things that I want to share with you before we start getting to ways of eliminating them. And in other words, this is our intervention. Number one, guys, never let them flower. Oh, do you hear that noise over here? We're going to come back to this later. Shh. Okay. Number one, never let the weeds flower. Remember what our grannies told us. 1 year's seeding is, you're saying it, 7 years weeding. Yes. If you allow the weeds to flower and set seed, well, folks, you have just been sowing the seeds, okay? And then they're all going to come up all over your lawn. So if you're not going to treat of anything, what I want you to do is before those weeds, as soon as they flower, like bud, put that lawnmower on it. Get rid of them, okay? Question I'm often asked, can you take the lawn clippings that have got flowers or even weed seeds, can you put that on your compost heap? Yes, you can. However, that's if you're managing your compost heap. So if you're just going to throw it there and leave the pile, not turn your compost heap, not water it, not get the heat levels up properly, okay, then you are not going to kill off the weed seeds. But if you're running a good compost heap and you're managing it properly, you will kill off the weed seeds. So that is okay. Number one. Okay, that's the first thing. Number two, how can we deal with weeds? Well, we can simply just use a weeder. Now, you're going to think, Tanya, you're absolutely mental, but let me tell you this, that if you've had a stressful day and you get home and you put on some good vibes, some good music, put on some good music, pour yourself an Oros, something else, sit on the lawn with your derrière, which is your bum. Put your bum on the lawn and get yourself a good weeding tool and just weed. Just weed. Little patch. Little patch. There is something about it that is so therapeutic. It's like when you remove it, it's like you're removing not only the weed, you are taking away stuff and getting rid of it. There's something about it. You might think I'm mad. Well, most of you do think I'm mad, which is okay. But there is something in it. Now, if you are going to choose a weeding tool, I strongly recommend you go for this design. Do you see this thing here? Okay. This thing is not so that you can grab it and use it as a weapon. Okay. It is not designed for that. This has to be one of the best weeding tools because I want to show you when you get in here. Let's pretend I'm weeding here. Okay, so I get in to wherever the weed is. Okay, but watch now what this thing does. Watch. Do you see? It gives me force. Okay? It gives me leverage. And if that was a weed, out it comes. Okay, I'll show you again. Look here. In, here's the leverage, because there should normally just be space here. There. And out it comes. Fantastic. This guy, brilliant. I absolutely love it. Okay, now down to some bit more hectic stuff. Okay, if we are going to actually make a decision that we are going to try and spray the weeds and get rid of them. Now, there are many, many different options, guys, and I'm going to go through these and give you the quick rundown on what you're going to be doing. Now, most importantly, whatever you do, there are many brands, guys. There are many brands at your local builders. Choose from any of them. But whatever you do, please, I beg of you, kindly, nicely, sweetly, to read the instructions. This piece of paper is not here for our pleasure, okay? This piece of paper is here for importance, please, and all of them do work. None of these would be on the market if they killed your lawn as well. I have had so many emails. I put on one of those weed killers, one of those ones for the lawn, and everything's dead. That's because you didn't read the instructions. Okay. It's very simple. In all of them, folks, in all of them, it will say, look at this here. Dilute 70 mils into 4 liters of water and apply this over 100 square meters. Because that's part where you normally stop reading. You didn't get to the 100 square meters. Okay, so whatever you do, read the instructions. Please, read the instructions. And then the second thing is that you want to do the following. You want to spray on a hot, sunny, windless day. Okay, because you don't want this stuff spraying over to the neighbor. Hot, sunny, windless day. The weeds must be looking gorgeous and delicious. So in other words, don't mow. Wait for them to be looking amazing. Because remember, whatever we're spraying on here is taken up through the leaves. Okay, it's absorbed into the leaves. I'm asked about cats and dogs often. My recommendation is keep them off the lawn for 2 hours. If you're spraying on a hot, sunny, windless day, that is going to be dried within 15 minutes. As long as, especially the cats, don't walk on it when it is still wet. Okay, but then you're going to be doing this responsibly. You don't have to spray the whole lawn. No, you can just spot treat where the weeds are. Now, the next thing I'm going to tell you about are your sprayers. Now, guys, I know some of you use these. Okay, this is your old window lean bottle. Okay, and you've mixed it in here. But this is where things go a bit crazy. Because you've got your instructions. It says 40 mils into 5 liters of water. Oh. 750 mils. Right, 750 mils. So if it's 40 mils into 5 liters, it's 20 mils into 2.5 liters. That means it's 10 mils into 7, what? What do I do? Then it's like, 2.5. Oh, I'm just going to put in 20 mils. It'll do the job. 20 mils into here. Guys, you've doubled the strength. You've doubled the strength, which means that even if you spot treating, you're going to kill the lawn as well as the weeds. Okay, right. So very important. Also, this thing here, by the time you're finished, you're going to end up with a cramp. Okay, you're not going to have got the dilution rates proper, and those things should never be used. So invest in a good pressure pump. Very, very important, guys. Please do invest in one of these, because this makes your life so much easier. And what I want to show you over here is just, let me open this bad boy. Let me put it over here. What I want to show you with this is the following. So, pressure pumps, as we know, you build up the pressure, you click it in, and then off you go and you can spray. Okay, but notice the effort. Notice the fine mist. Okay, nice and easy and simple. And when you invest in one of these things, guys, treat it properly. Do you know, treat it properly. Wash it out, rinse it out when you're finished with hot water and a cleaning detergent, one that you use for your dishwashers. Give it a good wash and pump it and then spray it through the nozzle as well so that you can clean anything that wasn't here. This is what you want. And remember, when you are spraying, spot treating, so I'm going to treat this over here. It's just once over. It's not, especially if it's a big weed. Okay, no, just once over. Okay, very, very important. Guys, just follow the instructions, and within 10 to 12 days after spot treating, the weeds will start dying. Okay, the weeds will start dying. When you finish using this thing, please, there's a little connector thing over here. Watch what I'm going to do. Just watch here. You don't open it at the top here when you're finished, when you're going to clean it out, or else you're going to end up with whatever is in here all over your face. You want to decompress this thing first. So listen up. Right, now I can open this. No spraying. Okay, very important. Okay, so guys, within 10 to 12 days, the weeds will start dying. And literally the next day, you can actually then mow your lawn. You don't have to wait. You might need to treat another 2 or 3 times in order to get the weeds under control, depending on how strong your infestation is. But it does work. If you follow the instructions, you can also buy them in these little ready to use if you really want to. And that's supposedly, I imagine if you're in a townhouse, got a small little patch of lawn. This is no weeds lawn. Please do not confuse it with this. Do you see this? Okay. And the other brands out there, when it says weed killer, kill weeds, whatever it does, that will kill everything. Okay, that will kill everything. So make sure it has the word lawn written on it somewhere, because then it will not kill the lawn as well. Okay, that's enough about weeds. Absolutely enough about weeds. Right, guys, let us get into the M word. Now, I told you I had a very large family that came and took residence in our front lawn and made a meal of the bulbs. It was all over the lawn. The lawn was just recovering, and it was an absolute nightmare. So, you know, I'd always seen these at our local builders, and I was like, and I tried one many, many years ago, but I'm talking like donkeys years ago. And it kind of like, it worked, it was so-so. So I tried one. I put one in the garden bed. And the way it works is like this. Come along here. This is actually one I pulled out the garden this morning. That funny noise you were hearing? Okay, so what it does is, it's called a mole sonic. So I tried one. It worked like a bomb. So then I went and got 4. And there are 4 in the front lawn. And guess what? The moles have moved. So it basically works off 2 batteries, okay? And if I'll activate this guy so you can see what happens. Okay, so you just pop the battery in. Okay, have I put it the right way? Yes, I did. Okay, pop it in there. That then goes into here. Okay, and get that guy on. And now the only tricky part about this is that you've got to bury this. Okay, so don't go and try and just push it into the lawn, because 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get it all the way in. So what I did was I just took a hammer, and I took a big piece of wood, and I just knocked it in to make a big hole, and then I pushed this guy, and you can see the soil level is there. There we go. what a noise. It's that noise that the moles don't like. Okay, so you put this guy in, and let me tell you, so the only thing is you got to check on your batteries, because earlier this week, true story, there was a mole run around one of these one morning, and I was like, you got to be kidding me, this thing's not working. Of course it wasn't working, the batteries were flat. Replaced the batteries, that was the last I saw the mole. So it's a humane way, it's a friendly way of getting rid of them. We're not killing them, we're just telling them, rather move next door to Mrs. Jones. Her lawn is much nicer than mine. Okay, right. Next way that we can also get rid of them is by using mole repellents. Now, you can pick these up at your local builders. You're going to ask what's in them. Guys, it's basically a repellent. When you open this up, you will know what it's made of. Ooh, caramba. Garlic. Like garlic. Poof. Jeez, that was intense. You know, that poof, garlic. It's just garlic. It's an intense solution of garlic in an oil. And all you do is you put this down holes. Of course, put it down fresh holes, not old molehills. So what I recommend you do is you flatten the molehills. The next morning you go, put this down and take a bit of newspaper, push it into the hole so the odor wafts downstream into the burrow. Okay, and yeah, nobody's going to like that smell, and it's going to pack its bags, its suitcase, and leave. Okay, right, so that's molds, done and dusted. Insects, guys, the only real worry and threat that I'm going to talk to you about, because ants, and I'm talking black ants, do not cause any harm on your lawn. And ants don't. Black ants don't. They don't eat your lawn. They don't eat you. They're just there having a good time. Okay, so a lot of people want to kill the ants in the lawn, and I'm like, no, don't. At least we do want some kind of ecosystem going on in there. However, termites, no go. You want to get rid of those, especially harvester termites. Okay, you want to get rid of those. And how do we know that we've got harvester termites? Well, it's pretty simple. You'll see big patches of your lawn because they remove the leaf blades. The harvester termite removes the leaf blades and takes them down into their nest. How do you know if you've got them? Well, they generally only are active at night. They only work at night. So take a damp towel, all right? A damp towel, put it over your lawn where these patches are, and leave it there during the day. Lift it up after a couple of hours, and let me tell you, if you've got harvester termites, they will have congregated underneath that wet towel, and then you know you need to treat. There are various products that you can use, from kamikaze to many harvester termite products that you can put down. And remember, it's a bait, guys. It is a bait. So the bait will get taken by the harvester termites and taken down into the nest. Very interestingly enough, a lot of the little granules that you get are incredibly safe because they are only activated on temperature. This is a very interesting thing. So they only become active on temperature because now the ant has taken it down to the nest where it's cooler. It activates upon temperature and therefore then kills the colony. Okay, so if you have to go and eat it, okay, nothing's going to happen, all right? But if you can eat a box of it, you're in trouble. Because remember, we're trying to kill an ant, that big, little thing. So once again, treat the product with respect, read it, and follow the instructions. Very, very simple, guys, actually. You can also get a fertilizer, which is this one here. This is a Wonder product, and it's called 411 with insecticide. Okay, so this you would apply as a normal fertilizer, but except it's got the active ingredient, it's got a insecticide in it, which will get rid of armyworms and caterpillars, because the lawn caterpillar also can munch overnight. Okay, and the same thing with the caterpillar. If you want to know if you've got any, just put down a wet towel or a wet sack, lift it up, and you will see. Okay, very, very simple. Okay, I believe there are lots of questions coming through, guys. So let's just quickly have a look. Let me log in here. And let's take a look at what questions are coming through. Right. What is the best way to get rid of crickets? Rose, very good question. Crickets can get rid of. You can get rid of crickets by using the 411, which is the Wonder product. You can use a general insecticide, something like Lawn Protector. You could use a cypermethrin. You could also use Eco Insect Spray. There are many products available that you can use. You can either treat the whole or you can treat the entire lawn. But there are products that will get rid of them. Okay. Okay. Now, before we get on to, because I think we've got insects in that under control. Before we get on to spring treatment, guys, which is going to be quite a biggie, and if you haven't done anything to your lawn, you're going to need to pay attention to this. But before we get on to that, I want to share with you a video that our lovely EXO did on general lawn care. I think you're going to find this very, very informative. It comes from the Builders YouTube channel. If you haven't ever ventured into that part of cyberspace, please do, because there are loads of great videos and good content that can help you. So let's take it away with Freddie.
Many people think that mowing the lawn is just a question of pushing the lawnmower around, almost as if you're just taking it for a walk. But there's a lot more to mowing than you may know, all of which are geared towards having a healthier lawn. Mowing the lawn is something we often leave to the garden services or your home gardener, but this is something you can do yourself. Regardless if you have a petrol or electric mower, the principles are the same. Many people enjoy mowing the lawn in the morning before it gets too hot. However, dew from the previous night is still lying on the grass, and cutting wet lawn puts more strain on the mower, thereby reducing the blade speed, resulting in a not so great cut. This is especially true for the smaller electric and battery-driven mowers. Let the dew dry off first. Now, a mower will either have a grass box attached to the back or a side discharge. If it has a grass box, there's a time to use it and a time not to. For the first few cuts of the spring season, leave the box off. This way, the grass clippings can decompose and break down, adding a form of compost to the lawn and reducing evaporation from the spring rains. This is especially true in the eastern half of the country where we get summer rainfall. However, if your grass has lots of weeds or nutsedge grass growing amongst the healthy grass, then all you're doing is spreading the unwanted seeds around your lawn. The grass box catches these, so you can dispose or compost it. If you've recently put down fertilizer, it's also an idea to leave the box off, just so you don't dispose of any pellets that have not broken down. Now, cutting height is a hot topic. Forget the lawn mowing myth that says the shorter you mow the lawn, the less often you have to cut it. That misguided concept lays the foundation for a problem-prone lawn. Grass that's cut too short is more susceptible to weed invasion, drought, and heat damage. Rather cut off less grass more often, and your grass quality will improve. Generally, you only want to cut the top third of the grass sleeve, and once you've worked out this height, set the mower and see how the grass looks after the first cut. Now, if your grass is very long, you'd rather cut it twice instead of trying to force it and cut it all at once. The only exception is kikuyu grass, which needs to be scarified or cut very short in spring. This helps to regenerate the grass and it removes the dead stolons. Alternate your cutting direction. It comes from the good old days of roller mowers, but it's a good idea as it stops the grass from growing in one direction. This week, do a left to right cut. Next week, do a top to bottom. So if you're using a grass box, rather push the lawnmower instead of pulling it backwards. When you push the mower, the grass is cut here, and the clippings have a short distance to travel to the grass box. When you pull the mower backwards, the grass is cut here, and most of the clippings have to travel all the way around. The result is the mower leaves clumps of clippings on the ground, so rather push the mower if you can. Lastly is maintenance, and this involves cleaning the underside of the mower after each cut to prevent grass buildup, especially if you enjoy cutting over molehills because the sand acts as glue. Rather rake these flat first. So besides the basic service on a petrol mower, like cleaning out the air filter and the odd spark plug change, you need to ensure that your blade is kept sharp at all times. Otherwise, you end up tearing the grass instead of cutting it. Kevin did a video on blade sharpening. Check the link in the description below. A fresh cut lawn always looks great, but we need to make sure that we look after the lawn as well. And Builders has a wide range of lawn mowers and lawn products such as fertilizers, both in-store or online at builders.co.za. And for more videos like this, check out the blog on the website. Get to Builders, get it done.
Well, there you go, guys. Lots of tips that are certainly going to help you. Follow those. Exo's given you some sage advice there. All right, so now let's get into spring treatment. Okay, if you haven't done anything, there's a saying in gardening, and when we're talking specifically about fertilizers, what fertilizer to use? Well, you should have used it last week. Yeah, last week. Okay, so I know we're waiting for rain, but if we want to kind of kickstart this process, we've got to take action. Remember, involvement with your lawns. So the first thing we're going to do is scarify. Now, guys, when it comes to scarifying, please, if you have sown lawns like shady mix, ryegrass, so your shade overs, like the Mayford shade over, if you are doing those, if you have those, and Berea as well, do not scarify. Do not recommend that you scarify. So kikuyu is fine to scarify, your buffalo is fine, but your fine lawns, do not do this, okay? It puts them under too much pressure, especially your rye and your fescues, which are normally the ones that we buy in the boxes, at loose term, that we buy in the boxes, which help to just cover patches. Now, scarifying, remember, it is where you set your lawnmower on the lowest possible setting so that it is literally going to take and get right on top. So we want to go right down to the stolons. Okay, it's going to be a bit dusty, it's going to be a bit messy, but you must do it, okay? Especially on kikuyu lawns, because kikuyu lawns are known to get a bit clumpy and they build up and build up. And underneath that is a lot of thatch. Now, people say to me, well, what is thatch? I'm going to give you an example. So, of course, I can't have lawn in my studio. So, I've put down a bit of fake lawn, and I'm going to show you exactly what thatch is. Now, if this was our lawn, okay, if this was our lawn, and you've been cutting, and you go to it and you open it up. And if you open it up and there are some patches, and you can pull out a thick layer of lawn clippings, which at that point will be brown. If your layer is literally 1/2 centimeter and less, I would leave it, okay? Because it does help. Because what it does do, it's adding organic content back into the soil. If, however, your thatch layer, that is the stuff that gets stuck in between the blades, if it is more than 1/2 centimeter thick, guys, you need to remove it. But now imagine, we put the lawnmower on here. It's nice and low. Now you want to remove the thatch. The way that you're going to remove the thatch, and you are going to use your grass box for this, okay? Because it's going to make life so much easier. You're going to collect that stuff and you're going to put that stuff on the compost heap. But stay right there. What I want you to use is this. And this is where you're going to use one of these plastic go-to rakes. Because can you see, as I'm raking with the teeth, so it's picking all of this up. And at this point, we want to lift the blades. Do you see how this is lifting? We do want to lift this, okay? Because what we're going to be doing now is we just releasing all of that, getting rid of all the thatch in there, and this is where your best friend is one of these El Cheapo guys. Okay, it really does the job. Do not use a metal rake. If you use a metal rake, you are going to be removing the stolons and the roots. Please don't do that, okay? So one of these guys. You can also use a rubber rake, but I haven't found much success with it. It's more frustrating than anything else. Okay, so that's scarifying. Once we have done that, the next thing, guys, that I want you to do, okay, let's go up here, is after you've raked The next thing that we're going to do is you're going to give your lawn a very good soaking, a really good soaking, okay? And you want to do this. 10 minutes in each section, give it a very, very good soaking. And now you're saying, Tanya, but I haven't even put any fertilizer on. Stick with me, because the next step will explain everything. The next thing that I want you to do is get yourself a garden fork, okay? A garden fork, and you are going to aerate your lawn, which is why we wet it. Now, when you're aerating, it is in, okay? It is in, jiggle, 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 and out. It's not in and that. No. We're not lifting the lawn. We're not lifting it. We're aerating. In, jiggle, jiggle, and out. All we're doing is I want you to get these tines of this fork at least halfway in. It's very good aerobic exercise. Very, very good exercise. So please, guys, it's very important, and I'll show you on here. It's literally, it's in, and it's wiggle, 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 and then out. Because if your lawn has got heavy traffic, so if the kids have been playing on it, the dog's running over it, there's a pathed area, it gets compacted. We know that when soil is compacted, there isn't air. We know that air is an important component of soil makeup. Okay, that's when your lawn starts getting under pressure and stress. Okay, so you're going to fork the lawn, fork it, okay? Once you have done that, the next thing that you are going to do is the following. Now, it comes down to your fertilizing, okay? That's the first thing that you're doing for this spring, this season. I want you to use the following. It's called 2-3-2, okay? 2-3-2, okay? Very important that you understand this. You're not going to go for the 7-1-3. Please, you're not doing that yet, okay? I want you to go through the 2-3-2. This is an amazing organic 2-3-2, brilliant product, certified organic. It comes in these little pellets like this. So you sprinkle it down, 1.5 cups per square meter, okay? You don't even have to water it in because it's not going to burn, because it is pure organic. This is a Talborn product, guys. Look for it at your local builders. From their seedling food to their 515, their 232, are really amazing, amazing products. So you can use the organic 232, or you can use a chemical 232. Here is the important part. If you're using a chemical 232, you are going to have to water. And that step comes after one more step. Whatever you do, follow the instructions, how much to put. If it's a handful, it's a handful per square meter. If it's more than that, then do that. Importantly, once you have put down your 232, okay, then you are going to, only if your lawn has got dips and crevices and whatever, then you're going to put down some lawn dressing. Okay. I only recommend lawn dressing when you have got bumps and humps and ditches, because it's at this time that we can remedy it, because we've cut the lawn short. So we can see where those indentations are. By simply watering it, we can even see where the water was pooling. Okay, very important. Okay, let me answer a question. I believe there's, can I use horse manure? Tracy, you can use horse manure, but here's the but. You can use horse manure, you can use cow manure, you can use goat manure, as long as it has been well composted. Very important, as long as it has been well composted. So you can't take it from the veld, from the paddock, and put it onto your lawn, because it's going to have lots of ammonia. You know that like handy Andy smell? That is a form of nitrogen, and that will burn. Especially if there's heat coming off your manure. Ooh, caramba. No. The other thing is, you also got the chance of bringing in a whole lot of weeds. Okay, so, and buying top dressing off the side of the road, or a guy selling a bag of compost that says lawn dressing or compost, if it doesn't come in a bag that looks professional, don't touch it. Okay, because you'll bring the whole of Bedford View's weeds into your garden. I promise you that. Please do not. Okay, please do not. And I'm repeating that. Okay, so come across here. If we have now scarified, okay, and I just want to show you very, very quickly. So we've scarified, okay, we're just going to pretend that we're doing some scarifying here. All right, but this is clearly a hand scarifying option. And say you've got some dongas. Okay, right. If you've got some dongas, this is when you are going to be applying the lawn dressing. Now, lawn dressing, especially formulated, it's very fine. Most times it's got a bit of fertilizer in it. It's got some river sand in it. And it works to level your areas. When you put it on, you never want to go more than 1 centimeter thick. Never. Never 3, never 5. Because then the little grass blades are not going to be able to get through it. I rather say less is more. So you sprinkle it on. Okay. Sprinkle a bit on. All right. And then what you do is take the back end of your rake. The back end of your rake. Okay. And this is your metal rake. The back end of your metal rake. Okay. And this is a bit of overkill, but you're going to get the idea. The back end, and you use that to level it. Do you see how nicely that goes? And you just use that to level it, because then what this is doing is it's just getting into all those little bits. Okay? You're not using this end. No teeth. You use that. If you are a little bit anal like me, and I actually just find it easier, true story, because I use this. Say, for instance, the dogs have dug a hole here, and the lawn is really not doing very well here. Then I put down the lawn dressing, and I just use this, and I just pull it and move it along with the spirit level. It hits that end, which is the level part. It hits this end, which is the level part. So it'll obviously level out my lawn dressing. I like using that. It's quicker, it's easier, and I find I get a far more level area to work with. So you've put down your 232. You've put down your lawn dressing. Now you water. Okay? You're now watering. It's getting in. Within 10 to 12 days, 2 weeks max, you're going to see those beautiful new lawn blades pushing through. Okay. If necessary, if we don't have rain, I would recommend a good watering once a week. Okay. When it comes to watering your lawn, you don't need to water for half an hour at a time. No. 10, 15 minutes max, or else you're going to be watering the what do you call that thing? The water table down there, and the water's going to be running over there. So that is spring treatment, guys. It's very simple. Then after 4 weeks after you've done the spring treatment. Now remember, I told you you're only applying the lawn dressing 1 centimeter at a time. If you've got dongas where you need to build it up, then all you do is you just go back to those areas, add a little bit more, level it out, wait for it to go through, you're adjusting your height, and so you do it. You just piecemeal, bit by bit. After that, this is what you're going to do. You are now going to use the big guy, the 713, okay? Because now we sorted out the roots, which was the 3 over there, the 2, 3. Now we're going to sort out the greening. So that's when we go with 713, okay? Works like a bomb. Put it down. Give it a good watering. You can also use Bioganic for lawns, a brilliant organic product. It's in a crumble. Sprinkle that round. Works fantastically. You could also go with Talborn's Vita Green, which is a 515. Okay, now we're talking 515. All right, so you can also put that down and then simply give it a good water. That is your spring treatment. And then in 6 to 8 weeks later, you will repeat the 713 or the Bioganic or the 515. It really is that easy. That is how you will get a beautiful, lush, gorgeous lawn. Now, before we get going on anything else, there are a couple of other things I want to touch on. Now, lawn clippings. Lawn clippings that you have cut. Now, some of you have got a mulch mower. Some of you have got grass boxes. All right, mulch mowers. In fact, we've got a really good clip. Yes, we've got an amazing clip and educational on the Builders YouTube channel, which educates you all about mulch mowers. But basically this stuff over here, if you've got a grass box, you're going to take this and you're going to use this as a mulch, remember, or you're going to put it onto your compost heap. Very importantly to use this, because the top third of lawn that we are removing at any given time, remember what Exo told you, the top third is what you're removing at any given time. That top third is full of nutrients. It's packed full of nutrition. And we're taking it and we're putting it in a plastic bag, and we're asking the municipality to take it away. Guys, we've got 100 Rand notes in here. You may as well just pack a whole lot of blue ones in there and hand it to them. This is good stuff. Okay, so don't throw it away. Please don't throw it away. All right. A couple of tips that I want to share with you very, very quickly. When it comes to edging, guys, now I've got a few tools over here, and this, you know, a good edged lawn, a beautifully edged lawn, just somehow finishes it off, you know. It's like the olive in that, what are those silly drinks? Martinis, but they taste terrible. Okay, maybe a strawberry, like in champagne or something. It finishes it off. But a finished lawn, a good edged lawn, man, that's like for me. So use the right tools. Now, there are many tools out there that you can use. You can use a trimmer, but you've got to know how to use it, okay? And not to take off too much, and not to start eating the soil up as well, very importantly. Or you can use one of these guys. Now, these guys, they work pretty simply. You see there, I can also turn it to there. I can also then go and turn it that way. Okay, so getting rid of edges, cutting your edges. I prefer using it this way. There we go. Okay, good edges. Okay, you could even do it closer, you know, when you're doing those difficult to reach areas. But, you know, there are many, many tools that you can use. I, for one, am a fan of the good old sheep shear. Oh, I love these. The good old sheep shear. You know why I really enjoy these? Because there are no moving parts. Literally, it's a piece of steel that's bent round, creates its own tension. I can use these on my topiaries. I can get to the edges, and don't tell anybody, but I can also get in there if I need to weed something. But don't tell us all. I really, really like these. But whatever it is that you're using, most importantly, it's how you look after them. Really, really important. So once you've finished using it, use a rag, a wet rag. Wipe them down, guys. I've seen some of your garden tools. I don't know, you should be embarrassed. Honestly, full of rust, full of all those things, springs missing, teeth missing. Okay, with the rake, I said that's okay, you can pass. But you know, really, guys, the tools of our trade, we should be proud of, okay? And we should treat them with the respect that they need. So give it a good wipe with a wet cloth, and then apply a bit of a lubricant on it, one of those general oils, and then give it another wipe with another rag, and store it away. Not in the end, not on the edge of the garage, not somewhere there. Store it. Hang it up in a place where you know where it is. Quick tips on edging. Okay. I believe we've got another question here. How often should we water our lawn in spring? Sam, oh, excuse me, I got a frog, not a mole. A very, very good question. Sam, depending on the rain, and I know this is going to sound like really like loose, but if we have rain, you're not going to water that week. If we don't have rain, you're going to water once a week. When are you going to water? This has actually brought up a very good point, which I have not spoken about. You only want to water early in the morning, guys. Early in the morning, before 10 o'clock. Nothing after that. Watering late in the afternoon, if we've had a very hot day, creates humidity. Humidity is the perfect environment for fungal diseases like brown patch dollar spot, which can infest your lawn. So only early in the morning. Lindy asks, I'm indigenous quick lawn with buffalo in places. Will the indigenous lawn also be okay with fertilizer? Yes! Yes, Lindy, of course it will be. Remember, fertilizers is simply nutrition. Okay, it's nutrition. So you are going to be giving it good nutrition. One thing I do want to cover very, very quickly before we wind up, guys, is if you have got some patches, gosh, and who doesn't have patches in their lawn after a winter? Folks, if you go to your local builders, you're going to find every seed that you could possibly want. From a princess, which is a beautiful fine lawn, from a shade over, which will grow under any tree. I promise you that. From a, here we go, this is an all seasons evergreen. You will find any seed for any size. This is 100 grams. Please make sure when you do buy them that you look at how much it covers. I mean, look at this. This same packet, that covers 10 square meters. This covers 2.5. Whatever you do, please make sure that you follow the instructions on the back, okay? Or you can go for the bigger boxes like this, which they've designed very cleverly. When you open them, I've shown you this before, guys. They've got the little serrations here. You take that off, okay, carefully. Take that off carefully. Then you take those little bits out there of cardboard, and then when you're going to fertilize, look at that. You might even be able to distribute it quite evenly. I certainly use this method, and it works like a charm. Guys, with any seeds, remember, some seed takes 3 weeks to germinate. But you'll know that if you read the instructions. Okay, some seed will germinate after 12 days. The important thing is just water. Okay. Guys, that is the lowdown on lawns. That is the lowdown. It's the beginning, it's the end. Treat them well, give them a bit of love, and they will reward you endlessly. Remember, when you're popping into your local builders, look out for the Gardener Detainier magazines, Grow to Eat, and of course, Open Gardens is literally just got on sale. An Open Gardens magazine will give you over 200 gardens that are available and open throughout South Africa that you can go and visit. Remember to check out the blog, go and visit the blog and the Builders website, where you will find loads of great content, informative videos, and other DIY kind of tasks that you can get your head around that are easy to do. Folks, I've had loads of fun this morning. It's been a whirlwind. It's a very hot day outside, so I can't wait for it to cool down a little bit so I can get into my garden later this afternoon. Remember, if we haven't answered all your questions, we will get back to you a bit later on today. Remember, I want to see you at the road shows. I want to see you at the road shows. Come on, guys. Let's get gardening. Spring is in the air. I can't wait to meet you. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Most importantly, till the next time that I see you here live in our studio, take care of you and yours, and most importantly, happy gardening.
Many people think that mowing the lawn